Okay, we are live. We are live. Good morning. Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. I'm Robert Henderson Jr. I am president, founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. We have clients all over the country, all over the world, actually. And joining me here live is my partner, my one and only, my brother from another mother, Mr. James T. James, how
Oh
you
my
doing, my
goodness.
brother?
Brother, it has been a whirlwind. Last 24 hours, I have been everywhere, from broadcasting at Universal Studios from 10 until 2 with my friend Joe Bullitt on yesterday. And hey, had a great day with him. I got up yesterday morning. My morning started yesterday morning at 2:28.
Oh man, two in the morning, huh? 2:28.
And I arrived back home, I think it was around 9:30 p.m. So it was a
Wow.
full day, but we had a great day. And hey, we've got a great show for today. But Rob, before we get to the show, I did see and hear that you had a wonderful day yesterday. You spoke to a group of people at the Embrace Girls Foundation, and
Yes.
people are really understanding money and finding out why it's so important to really be on top of financial literacy.
Right, right. James. I really had a good time, man. It was a Arcola Elementary School, and Miss Velma. She really Lawrence, Miss Velma Lawrence. She's the president, founder of Embrace Girls, and they have a fantastic organization.
Mhm.
And I went out yesterday, and man, she had a group of girls there, Embrace Girls. They were all in tune. They was on it, man. They was taking notes. They was asking questions, and we was talking about money, understanding money, why you should work hard early, okay, work smart so you can have a great life. You listen. I talked to them about being good, better, best. Never let them rest until your
Mhm.
good become your better, and your better
And you
become your
better
best.
become your
And then I drilled into them with a lot of adults. So I said, listen, every time you make money, you should save minimum 20%. 20%. If you get $10 for your birthday or Christmas
mm,
or something, that $10, take $2 and put it away for yourself. You got to pay yourself. We have to get into the mode psychologically, changing the paradigm that when we work, we have to save money for ourselves. People like to say, when I get $10 or I get money, I'm gonna go out for myself and I'm gonna go shopping and I'm going to spend money. No, that you're making the merchants rich. You gotta, what about me, myself, and I? You gotta save some for yourself too. So we had a fantastic. Oh man, I'm going back. I think on February 24th for the second half, because
oh, okay.
we're gonna open up little stock accounts, investment accounts, and then I'm gonna
Ooh,
teach them about compound interest and everything. You know what compound interest is? You
that
know.
is powerful. That's powerful, man. Hey, thank you for all that you do. Thank Miss Velma. I reached out to her. I haven't had a chance to speak, to anyone after my whirlwind yesterday. But hey, man, that was a great deed. Those young people. I did a program. Well, I think I spoke with one of them once. And Rob, I set up envelopes, and I forget what I used to ask some of the young ladies to come up. And when they would come up, I'd say, I'm going to give you this envelope. I don't want you to open it. Who's your best friend? I want you to bring in your. So they would call up, and so a friend would bring a friend, right? I said, now I want you to hold her accountable. We're not going to open this envelope, but what we're going to do is we're going to recognize that an opportunity is going to come where you'll have a chance to invest in something that will generate more of this. And we don't realize what we have sometimes in our hand, you know, and if we would use what's in our hand, God will bless it and give increase, multiples. And the young lady that we're going to meet today, guess what? She has a story as well. So I don't want to take up any more time. Shouts out to the Embrace Girls Foundation and Velma Lawrence. And shouts out to you and the Henderson Financial Group for what you're doing. So our special guest today, Mr. Henderson, is?
Yeah, she's the mayor from Warner Robins. Her name is LaRonda Patrick. Fantastic young lady, doing some great things, boy. I tell you, and we just want the world to know her and get acquainted with her to see what this sister is doing. We are so proud of her. Me, James T, Antonio, we've been there twice, man. We're gonna go a third time. Warner Robins is like a kept secret, man. But they're making it happen, man. I tell you, a lot of things are happening there, and real estate prices are not going crazy yet. So that's why we really like to go there. We want to help. We want to help get involved in that, man. You know, because a lot of places all over the country has just gone crazy in terms of price. But man, they got some beautiful, beautiful property there, and it's still affordable, and we like it. She is doing wonderful, wonderful development projects and really helping. And we want to talk to her and talk to you so you guys can get acquainted with her and maybe visit Warner Robins. Okay, let's bring her on. Let's see. Let me get it right here. Mayor Rhonda. There you go. There you go. There you go, sister. Bright star. I tell you, the future, the future. How you doing there, Mayor?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you all doing?
Good. It was so delightful to meet you a couple times, talk to you there. And you're doing some great things. I know that this is the first term. You get ready to do a second term?
That's right.
Yes, get ready to do a second term, and it's coming up in November. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because we were so excited. I mean, Dr. Malone introduced us to you, and matter of fact, introduced us to the wonderful things that are happening around Warner Robins and Perry and Valdosta, that whole area. And you're doing some great things. Tell us about how you got started. What are you doing? Let's get to know you. Share yourself with us.
Oh, wonderful. Well, first, I want to thank both of you for inviting me onto your show. So excited about today. I logged on a whole hour early just to make sure I didn't miss it. And it's good to see both of you again. But I'm from right here, Warner Robins, Georgia. By way of a couple places, I am a Air Force brat. My dad served in the Air Force. That's what brought me to Warner Robins, Georgia. We're home of Robins Air Force Base, which is one of the largest Air Force bases in the country and the largest industrial complex in the state of Georgia. I have a son who is 7 years old. It's just he and I. I am an attorney. I went to law school. My background is corporate law and government procurement law. Smart. And I've always loved volunteering. Public service is what I do. That's what I am. And I'm just so blessed to be able to serve at the position that I have now.
Oh man, that is fantastic.
Mayor Patrick, I really want to say thank you. And Rob, coincidentally, isn't it something that we would have her on for Black History Month? even Rob, even though we don't celebrate Black History Month, we celebrate Black history every day, because we're trying to make history every day. But Mayor Patrick, thank you again for joining us. And I know that there is some excitement happening in your city, but I know that I don't want to pass up the opportunity to know that in the past few weeks, you've gotten a couple of great honors. You and your city has gotten a couple of great honors. So share that with us.
Okay. Yeah, we did actually. We're really excited. Every year we have the Georgia Municipal Association conference called Cities United. And that is where all of the mayors and council members across the state go for training. And if you're lucky enough, you get some awards. So this conference, our city received a City of Ethics award that says we have great ethics. We also received Plan First Community, which is great. You all talked about development. It tells you that the state has recognized what's happening in Warner Robins and the development that's coming, and that we plan our development. We put a lot of resources and effort into making sure we attract the best businesses and industries here in Warner Robins. So having that type of award and recognition at a state level really does show how much Warner Robins is changing. Also received the Mayor's Leadership Academy Award, and that is the inaugural class for mayors in our state. So I was blessed to be selected to be in that process. And then I received a Achievement Award for the hours of continued education that I took in 3 years, getting to 72 hours in 2 years. So in 3 years, sorry. So those are the awards that we just received.
Fantastic. Wow. Rob?
Yes. So tell us about some of the great development that are going on in your city. I know that I think is Emory coming to your city? Tell me more about the development, what's happening there, because I want to get people all excited while we're so excited about Warner Robins.
Great. Great question. I'll first preface that by saying the city of Warner Robins, we have a small city heart. I always use small city heart, but we are a big city. We are the 11th largest city in our state, including with consolidated governments. So that really tells you we're making a great impact right here in Warner Robins in a major way. But with that, they call us Boomtown. Boomtown because a lot of individuals move to Warner Robins, they retire here. A lot of people come here for their careers. And with that, we've grown so much. And market research shows that we are the place to be if you want to make money. You need to come to Warner Robins. So Emory did take notice of Warner Robins. And if you know Emory, all of their locations in Georgia are all in the Atlanta area. So this will be the first location outside of Atlanta that Emory has. And for them to fix their eyes on Warner Robins to be that place, it really does show you and exemplify just how much we are growing and how much our efforts are truly getting attention from some really big places. We also have an industrial park, the Robins International Industrial Park, that is doing great. We're getting some great industry partners moving in. Just in the last 2 years, we're getting more and more attraction. So great things are happening right here in Warner Robins.
Yeah, and you said if you want to make money, that's why the Henderson Financial Group is there. I'm telling y'all.
Robert is not holding back, Mayor. But one of the things that I really found impressive, it was how you make people feel. I mean, and not yourself, the other people there in the city. When we went around to meet some of the great people in the city, they were open and willing to help and to share. So I want you to speak to community service, because believe me, I truly do believe that it's God, product, and service that brings about success. And when you put and I think those things can't be peeled off. So tell us a bit about how you, as the mayor, and of course, your other leadership in the area, how you're going about inviting people to come and be a part, and not only to invite others to come, but to impress those who live there that this is an opportunity for them to grow. Because with so much going on in our country today, many people are thinking that they have no hope. So please share.
Okay, great. Well, we take a real personal approach when it comes to attracting new individuals and businesses here. As long as they reach out to us, they're going to get treated like red carpet treatment, to be honest. I know you all came, which you're trying to roll out some red carpet, and every time you come, that may enhance more and more. But we're big on relationships here. I'm certainly big on relationships. I believe that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. So it's always my effort to make sure I show a person that people would want to do business with personally. And it's what's opened doors to different things that we thought we wouldn't be able to do. I mean, we get attraction from Fortune 500 companies just based off of relationships. They will come here to meet with me, see our city, not even for development efforts, but for different type of investments and enhancements to our city government. So to tell you that relationships go so far, and taking that personal time to connect with someone, whoever they are, and also make sure you act like they're the only person in the room the whole time they're listening in your presence, that's what makes things change. So I am upfront in your face in person, even reaching out to the CEO of Emory myself to say, hey, I'm so excited about you potentially coming to our city. Those small things go so far, and I make sure I do it each and every time. Because if everything in Warner Robins, if everything is great around you, the only way to set yourself apart is to be different. So I like to be different and show that real hospitality and making those personal connections that last beyond a generation.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it. James T. and I, we've been there several times. But for the people who are looking and listening to us today, let's get a visual. Now, Warner Robins, what is it, about an hour and a half drive from Atlanta? I'll let them know where you are. It's about an hour and a half drive?
That's right. It's about an hour and 45 minutes with no traffic. Good luck with the no traffic part. But,
from Atlanta, right.
From Atlanta. You can have no traffic. I'm exaggerating. We just hate Atlanta traffic with a passion. But
everybody knows
we are very close.
But let me ask you so I'm going to get a visual here. What about demographics? Tell us about your demographics in your town, your city.
Okay, so with the last census, Warner Robins was announced as a majority minority city. So to get the percentages proper, we're about 41% Caucasian, 41% African American, and then the rest of it are other minorities, which makes us majority minority. We are much like what you see at Air Force bases, military installations across the U.S. and even OCONUS. We have a diversity of individuals who come together and make a community, and that's one of the things that makes us so great.
Well, I
Yes,
know
that's
you're up for election. She's up for re-election, I should say. But can you list for us briefly some of the things that you accomplished in your first year, and what are you hoping to accomplish in the next year to come?
Well, I can literally talk for an hour
Well,
about the things that we've done. So proud of my team. But I'll tell you, one of the major things I ran on really quickly was redevelopment of our downtown district called Commercial Circle, which was the original city center 82 years ago when our city was founded. It's been deserted the whole time I've lived here. I've lived in Warner Robins since 1994. That's a long time. Deserted. So I wanted to create a city that I would want to make my forever home. And I've lived in other big cities and I just knew we were missing that. So went to work, committed myself, my team committed behind me. And we actually went from this area is about 19 acres, the Commercial Circle area, the deserted downtown. We went from owning under an acre, the city owned under an acre of that privately owned space, to now within 2.5 years, we owned or have under contract 17 acres of that space. So that tells you how aggressive I am and how aggressive my team is with me to do what we said we're going to do. Another thing, homelessness happens, is growing. COVID made it come out even more in cities that used to be not in the limelight for homeless population. And we are no exception. And with that, I wanted to make sure we're helping those individuals who are unhoused find a new life. But I also wanted to make sure I'm protecting our shopping districts, because that's usually where they will hang out. And those are the complaints we get from people. So I committed myself to having a homeless shelter, the first homeless shelter in our city. And my second year, the beginning of my second year, we purchased a building in a warehouse district to be the future home of a shelter called Haven Hope House. I named it with one of my guys who are very passionate about homelessness, and he is our community outreach individual. So we named it together, Haven Hope House, and that's in the last phase of renovation. It'll be the first homeless shelter in our community ever, and it'll be a 90-day treatment facility, hold 50 individuals, and we have partnerships, MOUs with mental health agencies, state agency for Department of Behavioral Health, and AmeriCorps, so that we're not having to pay all of those services, but the stuff that they get paid for can take care of the individuals inside the shelter. Another thing we did is Vietnam Veterans Memorial. That's something that's been preached about since 2011. Funding was given by the city in 2013 to find and erect a Vietnam Veterans Memorial, and it never happened. I came in saying, this is what we're going to do, and I meant it. And I never let go of hope of finding land on Vietnam Veterans Memorial Parkway to finally give the Vietnam Veterans Memorial its proper home that would showcase and on a wall, a proper memorial wall, the 1,584 individuals who were Georgians who did not make it back from Vietnam War, separated by city. And we were blessed to have a donation last year of 5 acres, and we did a land tribute just in January. And Congressman Sanford Bishop, who is doing this with me, he was pioneer way back then, and it kind of got halted because we couldn't find any land. The city couldn't. He came on with me to endorse this, and we're working on this together. So those are 3 of the major things that I said I was going to do when I was running, and that we were happy to be able to accomplish.
So, man, let me ask you a question, because it takes a lot of nerve and courage. What inside of you spoke to you to say, why me? Why did you want to embark on this a mission to become mayor? Tell us, give us some deep stuff. Why did you? What happened? Did the spirit come to you? Did you say, "Hey, something's got to be done"? What gave you that? Because a lot of people feel like they talk. This should be done. This should be done. Why not they doing this? What made you? Tell me the inside story of what you said. Okay, I'm doing this, and why did you become mayor?
Well, part of it is what you just described. You have people who are the typical politicians who talk a big game and they do nothing, and they keep getting reelected. They talk the same big game they did 10 years ago, and they still do nothing. Being a political science pre-law major who studied this thing the whole time I was in college, wanting to be an attorney since I was in 8th grade, right here in Warner Robins, Georgia. I tried I wanted to be the change I wanted to see. I was blessed to have an opportunity to be a legislative internship at the Georgia General Assembly the last semester of college, which let me work for the House Representatives. And I got to see a lot of the behind the scenes practices of how bills truly do or don't become law in the state of Georgia. And I was blessed to get a internship, I was blessed to come on full time as administrative staff for the Senate, all before I went to law school. So a year and a half working in that space at the state level, seeing the ugly side of politics and the things we just described is one of the reasons why I ran. That spark lit for me way back in 2005 and 2006. And it stayed kind of undercover for me as I started my legal career. And I was a city attorney in a city that's next to us. And I was also a solicitor, and I kept seeing the same thing from our delegation, the same thing from the elected officials. And I just kept telling myself, this is not the future I want for my son. This is not the future that I want to see. So sometimes you can't complain. Complaining, everybody complains, but I'm about results. So what are we going to do? And if nobody steps up to the plate to take that hit, then I told myself, well, maybe I can try. So I went on a journey to try, and I was happy to get some great people behind me who saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And instead of running for city council, they convinced me after many months and twisting and pulling of my arm to run for something bigger, because they saw something in me that I never knew was there. So I went for it. I gave it my all. I told everyone that I am built for this. And to this day, I say the same thing. It is tough out here in Houston County, being the first elected female mayor, first elected minority and African-American mayor, and also the youngest mayor. They did not see me coming, but I gave a fight in my campaign that was not expected. And I stayed true to my word. And that's why I know I will be back in for another 4 years or another 8 years or another 12 years. And whenever something tells me to do something else.
Yes, I like that. That's why I asked you that question, because I've known and I see the work and I hear about what you're doing. You're not just talking that talk. You walking the walk, man. You actually putting action in. I mean, you actually doing it. And we're so proud. That's why I wanted our audience to hear you and see you and be introduced to you and understand what you're doing. And it's so important for other people to see what you're doing, because it's going to encourage and inspire someone else. I mean, and I want them to know where Warner Robins is and who's making that push. You have the courage, you have the audacity to say, okay, I'm going to do it. You're not afraid. That fear is nowhere around you. And you're doing it. I'm very proud of you. And I'm going to tell you something. You've attracted to the Henderson Financial Group, and people know I like money. I like economics. I like development. I like growth. If it ain't no growth, I ain't going there. You follow me? So you are doing a wonderful job. And I just want to just thank you, and your hats off. I want to give you all the praise that we can give. We want people to know and recognize you. And the reason why I said how far is it from Atlanta, because a lot of people know about Atlanta. A lot of people go to Atlanta, you know what I mean? But I hear also there are a lot of people in Atlanta, since housing and the cost of living is getting so high that I hear a lot of people are moving toward Warner Robins. Can you speak on that? Are you getting a lot of people moving there?
Absolutely. We're getting so many people from other communities coming to make Warner Robins their second home, I call it. We get a lot from Atlanta, Georgia, just because the cost of living here is so much better. The quality of life, in my opinion, no pun on their elected officials, in my opinion, is better than what they would get up in a metro area, and the people are much friendlier here. The crime rate is low, and it continues to decrease. We're an award-winning city. We're international smart city. We received that award last year in Taiwan. So we are doing some great innovative things. And who wouldn't want to be a part of progress? Who wouldn't want to be a part of a city that is trying to redefine itself and grow and show some really innovative things, and not only in our development, not only in the structure of our city, but also in different programs that we do here. So we have also people coming from Florida too. A lot of individuals come from Florida because of the cost of living here is just different. And we're close to everything. We're 2 hours, well, less than 2 hours from Atlanta. We're about 2 hours from Savannah if you want to go out to the coast and see some nice water, more so the Golden Isles. That's where the nicer water is. Then we're also, 2 hours from Florida. We have, an airport right there in Macon, which is right beside us. That takes you right to BWI for a very cheap rate, great flight experience. So, this is a place to be. You can live here and have fun. You can fly wherever you want and have some big city fun. And then come right on back here to Warner Robins and to do your daily life right here. So we're getting a lot of attention.
I was so amazed. I was so amazed when James T and I and Antonio, we went there, and I said, oh my God, nice brick homes. And I said, oh my God, this is like going back from South Florida 20 years earlier. It's like a lot of people right now wish they were in South Florida because the prices of home is so expensive and has risen. And a lot of people feel like, man, if I would have bought something 20 years ago, when you go to Warner Robins, you can see this nice spread, this land, all this stuff. And you're like, okay, I got another chance. Here's your other chance. You got another chance, man. I'm telling you. So I've been telling a lot of my clients, because we do investments and buy real estate all over the country. And I said, I found the spot that's really good. The demographics are good. Like you said, it was like 41%. What was the demographics there now?
All right. 41. And the rest is minority, other minority.
Right. Right. I said, okay, this is some good stuff. And it's very, very affordable. The people are very, very nice. Hey, that's the first time I went to James. When we went there, we stopped by this place called, what is it called? Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's comes out of Texas. They're everywhere in Texas.
Oh, hey.
It's a mega gas station of all gas stations. We have 100 gas pumps in Warner Robins at Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
But they were their first location their first location in the state of Georgia was where? Warner Robins.
Oh my goodness.
The
You know
first
something,
location
Rob?
in Georgia. That tells you something else. I'm telling you, the market research is showing people this is where you need to be. You can go to Atlanta, you can go to Metro Atlanta if you want to, but for investors, from what we are seeing, it's really painting the story for us. We didn't even know this, but the market is telling us that we are the place to be.
Well, we want to be there. We want to be there. And here's the other thing that's going to happen, Mayor. When Rob was talking about location, if Emory is coming there, all or so much of South Georgia will be merging for healthcare and other needs to be met, at your location with an Air Force base there, and you're not far away from the college. I want you to speak about housing, because one of the things when we made first or second visit, we met a contractor out of Atlanta that was helping to meet some of the housing needs at Fort Valley State.
Okay.
Can you speak to the housing and what you're hoping that the city will be able to do with housing?
Absolutely. So housing is big. We're growing. We are in 2 counties. We're in Houston County, which is primarily the majority of our city, but we're now in Peach County as well. So we're in 2 counties, and we're trying to get as many residential communities as we can, because we need places for people to stay. We have 4 new missions coming into Robins Air Force Base, bringing about 3,000 personnel coming here. So we move fast. So that's why you come here, you're always seeing something being built, because the people are coming, and we've got to be ready for them and give them different options for housing. For the university community, I'll tell you that piece, some stuff that you may not have known. Well, Fort Valley is not far from us. It's in Peach County. That's about 25 minutes down one long road into the country, pretty much. And they do have a shortage of housing in the city of Fort Valley. But we have a lot of university and college communities right here in Warner Robins as well,
Oh, come with
including
it.
right, including a Fort Valley campus in Warner Robins. We have Middle Georgia State University right across from City Hall. So it's in the downtown area, and they have about 3 pretty large buildings there. We have the Georgia Military College, which is behind City Hall, and they have now 1 building. So those are some major campuses. We also have a site for Mercer campus, and I hope I don't miss one. And we have a medical school.
We didn't know. I
Yes,
didn't know.
we do have a medical school here in Warner Robins now, and for some reason it is escaping me. But they started in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Is where they started, and their headquarters is now in Warner Robins, Georgia, and it's been here for at least 3 years. So it's really awesome to have Trinity Medical School is here in Warner Robins, a real official medical school. So it's so awesome how much we're growing. They came out of nowhere. They were based in the U.S. campus was based in Baltimore, and then they moved it to Warner Robins. Out of all the places it could have gone, I know Johns Hopkins is in Baltimore, and it's hard to compete with Johns Hopkins, but we're grateful they chose Warner Robins for their home. So all these individuals need housing.
Right. Well, we want to say to our listeners, first of all, that may be joining us. People have been joining us in the live chat as we were talking. We have our special guest, Ms. LaRonda Patrick. She is serving her first term as mayor, a minority mayor in Warner Robins, Georgia. Does that ring? Well, okay. Hey, and it's Black History Month as well, and things are changing, but things are changing for the good. So if you are in the chat and you have a question or a comment you'd like to make to Mayor Patrick, hey, please do so. And thank you again for, listening to Understanding Money here with the Henderson Financial Group, Robert Henderson Jr., President and CEO. Continue, Rob.
So, Mayor, let me ask you a question, because I know that a lot of cities are redoing or changing their downtown. Tell me, I know that you are really focusing on really changing the downtown of Warner Robins, making it more of a walking city. Tell me more about that. What are your goals? What are your vision for downtown Warner Robins? I like getting in on the ground floor when that's happening too. I like to buy real estate. Just tell me about that.
So that's the number one largest project that I campaigned on, because we've been hearing about it for decades, that we're going to have a downtown, it's going to be redeveloped. And it never, ever, ever happened until I came along with the vision and the commitment, and we did it. So the vision for that area, which we call Operation Reawaken, because we're reawakening the former city center, our historical city center. I came in with that. So the plans are we're going to have a live, work, play, thrive community. Of course, you hear about those a lot.
Yes.
We want to have more of an innovative look to it. We don't want that traditional old town brick look, because we are exciting. We're innovative. We're innovative momentum over here. We've got to have that real happening look that looks very modern and contemporary. So we're really going to emphasize the circle when it comes to the buildings and the landscaping that we're doing. But long story short, we're going to be having commercial spaces, residential spaces. We want to see condos, which are apartments for purchase, but also we want to see some apartments. We want to have a lot of walkability, a lot of restaurants, commercial spaces on the bottom floors of all the buildings, and have some really good restaurants. I'd love to see something like International Row, where you have a former street that becomes a now space for people to walk and congregate, sit outside and have some fine dining with all the different types of cuisine that make up the individuals in our community. So really awesome experience, a really awesome opportunity to do that. We want to have space for, small bands to come and play on a random Saturday. We want to have some rooftop spaces. We want to have some natural food places, the fresh food markets like the Whole Foods or the Trader Joe's. We want to have everything there that a person would want to go to on a Saturday. If they want to go on a
True.
Saturday, they want to go there Monday through Friday too, and Sunday, right?
Oh.
See, we got to have all of those things that attract families to the area, and that's what our downtown will be. Some people would say, "Oh, we can't build multiple stories in Warner Robins." They used to tell me, "You can't have high buildings in Commercial Circle," and I say, "Well, basically, people have been trained to think a way that's very limiting, and I'm not. My parents taught me not to be limited in my thinking. If I were, then I would never have made it to the position that I am or the education that I've received. But they'd say you can't build multiple stories in Warner Robins, and I said, well, that's funny because right across the street, the biggest bank here, they are 4 stories high. I had to tell them things like that. We have an apartment complex that's 8 stories high. That houses people at a university. So Central Georgia Technical College, I forgot them, another big campus here. But anyway, just retraining people's thinking. We are in the process of our renderings being completed for what we would like the area to look like. And that'll go on display in March. And we continue to demolish the buildings that have been deserted. Many of them are not up to code. So those buildings have come down. We have more on schedule to come down. And whenever you come back again, I'm hoping that huge, really big sign, real estate type sign, will be planted in a Commercial Circle. So you can come and look outside of the area and see what it looks like, and then look to see what it can look like. So we're really excited about this. We want it to look like, it won't be as much as the Avalon, of course, but people love the Avalon. They love Atlantic Station in Atlanta. They love all those different city centers like that across the nation. We want ours to follow suit. We want to be that unique experience that looks different than Macon Bibbs downtown. It looks different than Perry, Georgia's downtown, because they traditionally had a downtown. We're only 82 years old, so we didn't have those traditional structures. Our structures were built up fast, no historical value. So they got to come down. We got to build a new vision for generations to enjoy going forward.
I love that
That
phrase,
so
a new vision, a new vision.
New vision.
Now I see why you ran, because you said before it had been talked about for many, many years, but nothing had been done. No one had made a step. So that's when you said, listen, I'm going to do this darn thing. I ain't afraid. I'm going to do that. Now doing that and having a new vision, we know oftentimes there is a lot of pushback because there's a lot of people set in their ways. Is it as difficult? Is it the same way because a lot of times when you want to change the paradigm of people thinking, a lot of times you become a minority because most people have been there. They just want to continue to do the same thing. Do you feel that there's a lot of pushback? Is it just easy? Does it sound, or do you really have to move some rocks? I mean, tell us about that.
Oh yes, we've definitely had to move some boulders, some concrete blocks, some walls, some ceilings, all of the above, all the construction material, we had to move it.
Yeah.
So what we did at first is I kind of kept it kind of low. I knew of one of the quadrants of the circle. I knew the owner owned the majority of the quadrant and wanted to get out of the business. And I knew that just from personal intel. So the biggest thing that really made the naysayers sit down, they sat down, they still were talking, but at least they sat down, was when we went and put under contract a purchase and sale agreement, a majority of one of the quadrants of Commercial Circle within my first year. We did that within my first year, we did that. So when they saw that, like, oh my gosh, they're really, something's happening here. And then you have the naysayers. So all you can do is continue to educate the community. Yes, we can build multiple stories. Yes, people will move downtown. Yes, people will come downtown. And then we had to incorporate community events into it. Having community events in the green spaces right next to City Hall and right beside Commercial Circle, so they can see people want to come here. So we had thousands upon thousands, 17,000 in one event show up at our Perkins Park, which is our green space, for different food truck events and different free concerts that we were doing. So it showed people, wow, people want to come here. So you got to do little strategic things to try to change people's minds and their mindset to see something bigger. And that's exactly what my team did. And we were successful in doing so.
That is so good. So what would you say the average age in terms of demographic? What is it? Is a lot of retirees come there from all over the country? They're moving in, or do you have a good mix? Young people also. What do you have?
We have a good mix. We have a large veteran community.
Okay.
So a large veteran community, either they retired or they got out early, but they're still a veteran. We have a lot of them. We have a lot of individuals who work civil service. Our Air Force Base is not like the ones that you may be used to seeing, where the majority of the personnel are military, active duty military. The majority of personnel at Robins Air Force Base are civilians. So they move here for great federal jobs, and they do that for their career. So they live here. This becomes their community. Robins Air Force Base also houses the headquarters for the Air Force Reserve Command. So all of the Air Force Reserves, their headquarters is right here in Warner Robins. You also have the Air National Guard, which is also at Robins Air Force Base. So those individuals live in our community, they work in our community, but they have to go, 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year to Robins. So typically they stick around the area. So you have a mixture of individuals that's in the military, what brings them here, that tells you, what their goal is in being here. Many of them become members of our community. And then you also have the younger professionals who are starting to come here and get jobs at Robins Air Force Base and engineering type jobs, IT type jobs, all kinds of stuff, that whatever it is they do at Robins Air Force Base, there's jobs in everything. You have young individuals that's coming who finished their educational career, ready to get their first career job, and they're living here. So we're seeing a lot of mixture of who makes Warner Robins home. Then you have the natives, who, of course, we're not going anywhere. You have people that may work in Macon, may have previously lived in Macon-Bibb, which is right next to us, who we are bigger than now. They used to be bigger than us, but we are bigger than Macon, Georgia, by their original boundaries. And Macon-Bibb is now a county. It's not a city. We still say city, but it's a county. Their county is smaller than our county of Houston. So it really tells you how things are shifting. And with that, people shift too. So people that may have lived in Macon, they're starting to live in Warner Robins because we have a great school system, one of the best in the state. And they like our school system better for their children and the quality of life than they do in other metro areas around us.
Yes, we noticed that. And I'm telling y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm blown away about the housing costs there. I mean, I'm talking about that. I'm blown away about that. If you live in South Florida and you wish you had bought your home, 20, 25 years ago, but now it's so unaffordable. I'm telling you, if you retired or if you just want to make a move where the traffic is not like I-95 or I-75, if you go to Warner Robins, it's like a small community, but they're big and they're doing things. I'm telling you, you win. This is your second chance. Thank God. I used to say it's for a second chance. Thank God for another chance. God give you another chance. This is another chance to visit. And, I don't want people to feel like, if you're in the United States, you can make the world your home. You can go different places until your buck can go more, go further. And people don't understand that. A lot of people have fear because South Florida, I tell you, and a lot of places around the country is just getting crazy in terms of insurance costs, property values going through the roof, the HOAs. When I came to Warner Robins, I said, "Oh my God, it's going. I'm going to hold camp here. I'm going to tell my clients, especially the ones that need to buy real estate, also." That we need to buy some real estate there. And James C. Now we drove there. It was a beautiful drive, believe it or not.
We loved it.
We loved it.
As a matter of fact, we took the country route coming back.
We did.
We did. We rode. We got off 75.
That's right. We took the country route. I had never seen acres and acres of collard greens. I never seen that in my whole life. Acres and acres of collard greens,
Hey. Pecan trees.
Trees.
I hadn't seen cotton in I don't know when I was a little boy, I guess, but the city itself of Warner Robins, one of the things, Rob, that we did get a chance to do was to visit where entrepreneurs are coming in. And as Mayor Patrick said, they're doing the restaurants. I think one is New Orleans that we visit. Was it New Orleans style?
Orleans. Was it in Warner Robins or was it in Perry? I think it was Orleans and Carroll. maybe.
Okay. And,
Orleans, yeah.
yeah, but did you have we had a downtown event in the park area there, right? In
It's
the
like a
park,
carnival
we
going on or
met.
something, right?
That there was an outdoor event that was happening. It just gave that feeling of home. You know, that's what
Good.
it felt good.
Oh yeah,
And as
when we
we
met the mayor. The mayor was there because we took a picture with you.
right,
What was
right
that? It was some kind of
that
carnival or some kind of event that was going on.
in the park. It was
It
happening in
was
the
in the
park.
park. It was
And
something in the
took
park.
pictures, but you showed us also areas that the city, quote unquote, is saying this is where we want to build, and that just doesn't. When people want to grow, when people want to build, I'm out of the same old same old. I just it doesn't feel good to do the same old same old. So your growth that you have there, and you pointed out areas where the city is going. Now, what will the city do to help those who would love to come in, particularly entrepreneurs, to build and bring a new vision to Warner Robins? How are you now changing the minds of saying we need to make it where these people would love to come, and we'll do all that we can? Because I've done some investing in some areas where code enforcement, they'll stretch you out for a year just to get a hood in a restaurant. Yeah.
Mhm.
So what does the city do to support the new entrepreneurs coming in?
Well, I can answer that with a couple of answers. I can address that with a couple of answers. One of it is our Community and Economic Development Department. They are kind of that first stop for new developers that want to come into our city. My director, she can give out all the materials of places where there may be some good vacancies to match what you're looking for, kind of point you in that direction. For large developers, she does, one-on-one tours with them, taking them, driving, having them ride around the city with her in a shuttle, and having that, point out some good places. They can get out, see it, touch it, get back in, and go to the next spot. We've also held a meeting for developers who are interested in Warner Robins, and I'll make sure we do that again this year, who want to build here in Warner Robins, to come and get a presentation on everything we have to offer. Spaces, the type of housing that we want to see, the type of housing you can build here, which is just about anything that's of value. You get to meet some of the team, some of the engineering team, the code enforcement team, the building inspectors, for example. So it's kind of that really great meeting. We got a lot of great interest from that happening. That'll happen again. When it comes to our practices, when the building starts, my team, we're like a family. If somebody ever has an issue with something, my guys will take care of it. And if they don't take care of it, people feel more comfortable with me because we have that relationship. They'll call me and it'll get taken care of quickly. We're not so strict on our policies and practice, but we are strict on our policies and practices, but with different types of structures wanting to come here, different type of developers wanting to come and do something new. With that, you have to make adjustments sometimes, because our stuff was built off of the traditional way of things, what they've always looked like. But there may be someone that wants to bring something that's really awesome that looks different.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that flexibility, and our team works to make sure we tweak it where we need to. So we'll work with you. All that to say, our people work with you. And if you ever feel like things are moving slow, you get to that, you get back to our team, and they'll speed it up. If you call me, they'll speed it up even more. But typically they keep it speedy without me interfering and without the developer having to ask for assistance. And our team is growing. We're trying to do some different things with our engineering team that really help us address the growth we're having so they can move faster. We have the same number of personnel back when we weren't Boomtown to now that we are Boomtown. So with that, we have to grow, right? So we're growing.
So there's going to be opportunities for people to get into government in Warner Robins, for young people that are getting out of college. And I got to say this, I think it was Steve or one of the other gentlemen said, Houston got it wrong. It's spelled like Houston that we know in Texas, but it's actually Houston County. Am I correct?
That's right. House, like a house you live in, house
House.
you like to build that people pay good money for when you're just here. Just remember that house.
Yeah, Houston,
Houston.
Houston
Yeah,
County. Yeah.
I know most of us say Houston. It's spelled like Houston, but when we were there, they said no, it's called Houston. We
And they said
pronounce
Houston got
Houston.
it Rob. They said Houston got it wrong. The
Yeah,
people in
Houston, Texas got it wrong. It's Houston. Anna Dupree here, she's one of our loyal listeners and very good person. We love her. She said that she did reserve duty twice at Warner Robins Air Force Base in the 1980s. And she says there was an Air Force Base and one nightclub. She says, how times have changed.
Yeah. Tell her to come back and visit us. I'd love to meet her.
Yes. She's
Okay.
very integral part of what we do here. So you mentioned smart city. Can you tell more about what does that really mean for our listeners? What do you mean when you said you become more of a smart city? What does that really mean?
Okay, that's one of the things I ran on as well. It's just meaning you're using advanced technology to do things, which could include or not include AI. For the city of Warner Robins, we did a project called Digital Twin City, a collaboration with Georgia Tech and also the Partnership for Inclusive Innovation to develop technology that helped us with smart policing. And that project is in full effect. We have all of our instruments throughout, which are camera system, and we're collecting really great data. But the data has shown us it is able to hone in areas where crimes are occurring, tell us what type of crimes are occurring, the details of it, what time of day, what time of night, so we can better hone in on how to police and deter crimes in that area. We also have the human element is what makes ours so great, because they'll have the intel of what's happening in a certain area, why we're getting an uptick on this. And we can solve crimes really quickly on our camera systems because it recognizes, if, say, for example, a car that may have a small dent on it or a certain bumper sticker. It's just something small. We can put it into our system, which can memorize what you are describing as you type it. They're going to memorize it. And anytime a vehicle that comes across that matches it, it'll let us know. So our camera system has been really great. It's been gotten international attention, not just because of what the physical element can do, the technology, off-the-shelf technology can do, but the digital program that we have, the digital twin city, which is way more complicated than what I briefly described, and also that human element. So it expands our footprint in public safety. It helps to deter crime, and all of our numbers show that crime is deterring in areas because we put everything into an area where there may be crime, not targeting any ethnicity or any neighborhood at all. All of it, none of it's based on racial at all. It's just based on areas where crimes are occurring. But with that, we were invited to go to a international smart city conference in Taiwan last year. We had to. It's a competitive process. Like I said, cities across the world were there. Any city you can think of was there, trying to compete to get their technology named as one of the best in the world. And surprisingly, Warner Robins was selected as Smart 21. That means that our entire package for our smart technology that we're doing was one of the top 21 used of all the cities in the world. So it's major play. Wow. I had no idea. I mean, we're going up against whatever country you think of, they were in the building, and Americans were the minority there. They were the minority there, but a part of the competition process, I had to do a speech on an international stage with England, UAB, Greece, Turkey. I can't remember the 10 countries that were all on stage with me, but we had to do a speech, and it's part of our grading process. And then I also was on a panel with a lot of people from Canada that were also competing, talking about smart technology. So it was just a really great honor to be there representing our city, letting them see what we have going on in our city, and people asking about how great our technology is. But that's what officially put us on the map as a smart city. We have that award. Only 2 cities in Georgia received it. And in the US, we did not get the majority. The majority of the 21 did not come from the United States. It came from other countries.
And I understand that you have infrastructure that's going to aid in that area as well already.
We do. We have fiber. The city owns its fiber, which is great. And a lot of cities don't own fiber. We do, but right now it's used for city purposes. But we have the ability to make sure it goes out into the community as well, to different commercial and buildings and things like that. So we've not utilized our fiber to its highest potential. And that's part of the plan, to make sure we're utilizing it to its highest potential and allowing some investment and development in that as well.
So Mayor, are you telling us before you was mayor, before you ran, the smart city, it wasn't there in Warner Robins? You brought that to fruition?
That's right.
That's amazing.
It wasn't there. There was a grant in order for us to pay for this. A grant was submitted before I was in office, but the builds out and everything else happened while I was in office.
That's amazing. That's a bigger, major accomplishment. So you ran on that and done it. You got it done.
That's what I like to do. I like to check off as many things as I can. In Houston County, politically, it's just a different beast. It's just a different makeup. It doesn't typically look like me. I'm the only one does not look like me. So I have to try harder. I have to work harder. I have to go far and above so that nobody can say I'm not doing anything.
We know about that.
When I tell you I eat, breathe, and sleep Warner Robins, I mean it with my entire heart. It's a lot of work, a lot of commitment, and we have to move fast. I don't have the luxury of moving slow, because my 4 years, which is really 3.5 years by the time campaign really takes off, that's all I have to earn the next vote. I don't have that. I don't have the privileges other elected officials may have. I have to really, really, really work hard and accomplish the different things you see here in the newsletter. I have to go above and beyond and move really fast. So
how can one follow you, Mayor? How can one, if they want to learn more about you, you got a website or go a social page that they can follow?
Yes. On my social media, I have my, I'm kind of old, so I still use Facebook. Most people use IG, but I have IG too. But I have all my socials for that. For my Facebook, we have Mayor LaRhonda Patrick. And then for my personal, I have LaRhonda W. Patrick. On IG, we have Mayor LaRhonda Patrick. So if you look for Mayor LaRhonda Patrick, you're going to see my socials come up. Even if you Google it, you'll find them. My website, which is for my campaign purposes, is LaRhondaPatrick.com. And LaRhonda is spelled LaRhonda. So yeah, I have all of those things. I have all the socials that there are. I'm on it.
Very good.
Well, we certainly support you. We're definitely going to do all we can do to help you get another term, because we see your work, and we know that it's not easy, and a lot of people don't like change, but it's a divine order, and that's why I know you're going to be. We know that you're going to be successful, and we're going to do everything we can to help you. And we're going to have you back on the show also, because we know you are doing things and you're going places and you're being very, very proactive. We're so proud of you. So proud of you. Aren't we, audience?
Hey, give a big shout out to our Mayor Patrick.
I know they learned something today. I know our audience learned something that they did not know. And that's what we're all about, understanding money, understanding, because this all comes down to growth, development, and economic development. And economic development is we're talking money, and we're talking business, and we're talking changing lives. And we're just glad that you're here. So everybody, if you learned something today that you did not know, I want you to put a 1 in the post. Post a 1 if you learned something, or if you didn't even know about Warner Robins. You definitely didn't know about Warner Robins had a sister, a bad mama jamma, who is doing things and proactive and got that new jack and new thinking. And use a corporate attorney before. Did that help you a lot, being a corporate attorney, sliding into being mayor? Did it help you a lot?
Absolutely. I work for small cities and large cities. And when you're small cities, I work for large companies and small companies, but the small companies allowed me to do a lot more than just be an attorney, which got me to the operating level too. So my career actually prepared me for the things I have to do as a CEO of Warner Robins, because my charter says that's what I am. I am the CEO of the 11th largest city in the state of Georgia, and it's such a pleasure.
Well, Nailmania I saw where it posted earlier that she wants to visit.
Yeah, I see we got them ones posted. Hey, Mayor, they got them ones posted. They learned something new. You got some new
That's
fans
great.
there now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so it's time to go. But it's 10:04. So thank you so much, Mayor. James, Mayor, we usually go out with a prayer because God knows we need prayer now.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Thank
let us pray. Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit, we thank you for the opportunity that you've given us to come together on this day and this time. We thank you as we celebrate life itself, but we also celebrate those who are growing and doing. And we ask that you would continue to bless the mayor, Mayor Patrick, Warner Robbins, and her family, her son. And we ask, oh God, that you will also give us the heart of sharing and caring. For so often we think and we ask for ourselves, but we are going to ask today that you will bless those that are in need, wherever and whomever they may be. Go with them, protect and keep them from all harm and danger. Bless them that they may be a blessing to others and have an opportunity to thank you and glorify you. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Hey, David, keep you well. Aaron just bought a house in Warner Robins. So our good friend Aaron is a friend of mine since high school, and he just bought a house there. I'm so happy for him also. Yeah.
Awesome.
And he's from Opelika. So
Well, Robert, was that the gentleman we visited?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
We showed us he took us around his new home and his new community.
yes, yeah, right there in Warner Robins. So we're so happy. So it's happening, man. It's happening. All right. Thank you so much. Hey, you all, I want you all to be safe. I hope you learned something today, and make sure you share today's program, because a lot of people need to know, life is about development, enlightenment. You also have to have relationships. It's so important to have relationships. I can't even talk more. I can talk to you all day about having relationships. If you don't have no money, if you got relationship, you can get some money. So relationships are more important than money. I'm telling you, you need to know somebody, right, Mel? You need to know somebody.
Yeah, yes.
Somebody with a key, Rob, to open the door.
So now go to Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. We love you, and thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right,
Thank you, Mr. Henderson. Thank you, Mr. James T. I appreciate you all. See you soon.
All
right,
Much
bye-bye.
love. Much love.
Bye-bye.